Welcome back to the Run It Bad podcast. I'm Max. This is RJ, and today we have a special guest, David Sears.
What's happening? The Run It Back?
Run it back. We're running it back.
R.I.B.
R.I.B.
Running it back. Like we're gonna run it back. We're running back the game.
Yes.
So that's like a replay or something?
Yeah, it's kind of like instant replay.
Yeah.
But not so instant.
No, yeah.
So we actually named this podcast, this episode, Dying for Zion, because Knicks are losing to try to get Zion Williamson. Mm-hmm. And right now they're last place in the East. And the reason I bring them up is because same reason Samuel L. Jackson brought him up last night at the Oscars.
Yeah.
Shout out.
That was brutal.
That was brutal. What, the Oscar shout out or the game?
The Oscar shout out.
Yes.
I'm watching the Oscars and he comes out.
Yeah.
And he pulls that, hey, the Knicks won. I'm like, oh, because I just got through watching the Spurs lose, and I'm like, oh, man.
It was perfect timing. For
worldwide. It's exactly what the Spurs didn't want.
Yeah.
But you guys both watched the game, or so at least saw parts of the game. You've been tracking for the season.
I actually did watch. I watched most of the game. Was shocked halfway through, or in the second quarter, third quarter. Spurs made a valiant run at it, but again, why were the Spurs even in that position?
David Sears doesn't even need words. He just shakes his head.
David.
The frustrating thing all year long is every time the Spurs get down by 15 or 20, they bring it back into maybe single digits, and then all of a sudden, whoever they're playing will go down and miss a shot, and the Spurs will go down and turn it over, or they'll take a stupid bad shot, or they'll fumble it off their feet, or dribble it out of bounds.
Well, look at the end of the Raptors game.
They miss opportunities all the time.
Yeah.
They should have at least five more wins than they have.
I was going to say, is this the worst rodeo road trip ever?
I think so.
Oh, standing-wise, and I think just the fact that they've lost to the Knicks and in all the blowout losses. I mean, their only win was against the Grizzlies, and that was a
one-point game.
Yeah,
that's because Patty Mills went hero status.
But I'm glad you brought up the Toronto game because I did want to go back to that a little bit. Here's my only hope for the Spurs. Is that with the Spurs, they had their full team, the full lineup was in for the Toronto game.
So you're saying health is a big factor.
They went toe-to-toe with Toronto, with the Raptors, did a good job shutting down Kawhi Leonard for the most part. And then that final sequence was just horrible. Yeah, that final sequence was just absolutely the most cruel way that the Spurs could lose a game. DeMar getting the ball stolen by Kawhi Leonard and then not taking the shot. Not taking the last shot of the game. I think DeMar, you got to take that shot. Oh, hey.
Oh, look at you, Mr. Popular.
Bring home the bacon.
No laptop, but you got
no laptop, but some good calls. Was DeMar fouled?
Yeah.
In that final, according to the last 2-minute report, he was not. So I went and looked back to see any of these final calls. He was not.
But even
fouled.
still,
I don't think he should have shot.
But it doesn't matter.
He reached in on the wrong side.
Right.
To get
but it doesn't matter. I mean, it's one.
Oh, you're talking about when Kawhi. I thought
when Kawhi stole the ball.
I thought when DeMar passed it to Bertans.
No. When Kawhi knocked the ball loose.
No, he was not fouled. As much as I want to,
despise
Kawhi, no, DeMar was not fouled.
So here's the thing about that game. Going back to the Raptors.
Yeah.
It was a great game. You saw the bench was playing really well. Great ball movement. You're able to keep the majority of the Raptors in check. But there's just kind of like that lingering, I don't know if the Spurs are going to win it. Has there ever been a season like that before where no matter how well you're playing against a top-tier team, which we can call the Raptors top-tier team now, has there ever been like that underlying feeling that it's like they're not going to win this team? Yeah. So you're saying it's been, 20, 22 years?
Because every time you'd go, just give it to Tim, he'll fix it.
Before Timmy, yeah.
Because Tim would fix it. Or Tony would fix it, or
Manu
would fix it.
Or someone
One
would
of those three would fix it. But
so
usually it was like, just give it to Tim, he'll fix it.
So, David, how long have you been covering the Spurs?
Since 1982.
All right. So is this the first time where you're really advocating, since Tim Duncan era, that because we talked before, and you're almost advocating shut it down, just restart it.
I don't ever believe in that stuff because I think that just comes back to bite you eventually.
Okay. So if you were in
a tank it guy, I'm just saying if it just happens to end where the Spurs aren't in the playoffs, then
would it be that bad?
It's not a bad deal.
Okay.
Because they got 2 first-round picks. But I'm not a tank it guy. You're a professional. You get paid a lot of money. You better be going out there and busting your butt every time you go out there, or you can give me my money back. I'm serious. I hate that when you talk about tanking.
You lose.
That's ridiculous.
Dying for Zion.
So dying for Zion. So here's my question.
Well, if that were the case, then they would have done it at the beginning of the season.
So my only concern about that is who represents the Knicks.
Who represents the Knicks as far
what
as
athletic company do the Knicks?
Oh, with shoes?
Because is this guy going to stay with Nike?
Oh, Zion Williamson?
He's going to get any shoe deal that he wants.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
I'm thinking, what did we say the other day? Hey, you know what? We make fun of Kawhi with New Balance, but I haven't seen him blow out a New Balance shoe yet.
That is true.
Well, Puma actually tweeted out during the game that wouldn't have happened if you were wearing Pumas.
Yeah.
There's going to be some companies going after him.
That was actually one of the arguments when people were like, shut it down. I heard one commentator saying, why would he shut it down? He still has so much more time to earn so much more money.
Yeah.
Because you could be the first rookie to get a $100 million shoe deal.
Right.
And that blowing out the shoe is only going to add to his legacy.
I think it was just a freakish thing to happen.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Manu Ginobili did it years back, and I think it's not the first time ever that's happened.
No, it is
Zion
kind of like
is just
a freak
freakishly.
It's a combination, I'm sure, of athleticism and a malfunction shoe.
Yeah.
Athleticism.
I think Zion's going to sign.
Can we disagree on this show?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
it's supposed to.
Because I don't think athleticism
I
has
think
anything
the
to
cut,
blowing out your
I think
shoe.
all the cut and all the power you put on that cut, I think that
really?
absolutely blew the shoe open.
How many guys cut across a lane and don't blow out his shoe? So
How
they're
many
not
guys are
as
Zion
athletic as
Williamson? I'll say it. I'll say
LeBron's
Zion
never
Williamson.
blown out his shoe like that, has he?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Not that I'm aware of.
Is Zion more
As
athletic
long as
than
we
LeBron?
disagree on that.
Yeah.
No, I don't think it's, I think it was a bad manufactured job.
All right, but going back to
One
you
slip
saying
might go
there
back.
really is not the guy like Tim Duncan. DeMar was kind of supposed to be the guy.
I think he's still trying to figure it out. I don't get the sense that, and we were talking about this one time, who's the leader on this team? Who's going to step up in the locker room, not necessarily out on the floor, so yelling.
But even an old veteran.
But who's the leader on this team that gets in these guys' faces in the locker room and go, hey, that's enough of this crap.
I mean, Patty Mills is the most veteran player at this point.
But
and he's
is he
kind of on
doing
the
it?
edge.
Is he doing? Is he? I mean, because you can look at Tim's face. He didn't ever have to say anything.
But
he would just look at you. I mean, but there's no Tim Duncan, there's no Tony Parker, and there's no Manu Ginobili. I hate to keep bringing that up, but it's so different, and they've got to learn to. This is a whole different team. These guys don't even know those guys,
right?
Basically, I mean,
well, they know some of them know Tony Parker, and that's about it.
That's about it. So I mean, they've got to find their way. Somebody's got to take over. This is the Spurs franchise.
We're starting to run out of time, but. Real quick, what are the weaknesses? Andrew's real good with the rap.
I thought this was like
Andrew keeps us in line. No, this is a lot more structured than most people realize. So, both of you guys, what are the weaknesses of Spurs right now?
Defense,
more defense. If Derek White is the reason that you're getting blown out, then that's great for Derek because his value is skyrocketing. But for the team in general, I mean, a second-year guy to be your linchpin on defense, I mean, that's just inexcusable for them to play defense the way they are.
They were looking to DeJounte Murray to do a lot this year.
Absolutely.
At least on the edge.
Yeah.
And then, of course, they don't do anything as far as making any adjustments with team by the trade deadline. So
and that was another question. So here it is.
Get your second wrap.
I know. Oh, I know. We'll cut the second block. We'll get the next block a little shorter.
Okay, that's fine.
But if you were the Spurs, would you regret not making a move at the trade deadline?
No.
No?
I got 2 first-round draft picks.
You say you have 2 first ones,
I got
but the
2
second one's
No, but I do. I do have 2.
I know.
Do I not have 2 first-round draft picks?
The first one is the 20. It's going to be 28 to 29.
So?
I mean, it depends on what Pop
Manu Ginobili was a second-round draft pick.
No, it depends what Pop and RC's vision is for this team within the next year. Do you get rid of the assets in order to just get better now? When truth is, besides Golden State, who's going to win this thing in the Western Conference? I mean,
the Thunder look good. Houston's fine right now.
Barring some major injuries to Golden State, we saw Draymond Green get banged up a little bit. I think it's one of those things where you probably protect your assets. If there was a guy that's just going to fall in your lap, then maybe you.
It's not like the Spurs have any up-and-coming young all-stars.
But that's the thing with 2 first-round draft picks. You've got people picking up the phone and calling you. I mean, you've got 2 first-round draft picks, right? How many? One's going to be
14 to 18.
Could be 14 or better.
Right, yeah.
But it's going to be 14. And then you got one in the high 20s. So, but you got 2 of them, so you have some room to make some deals.
Yeah. Plus, Lonnie's coming.
All
right, before Andrew has a connection.
Before we go on this.
Before Andrew has a complete seizure.
Lonnie Walker, why is he not playing? If Derek White's
because he's not good enough. I mean, that's it. He's not good enough.
If you're playing a team like the Knicks that are going to run up and down the court, I mean, why is Lonnie Walker not playing?
Because he's not good enough.
But he needs to run up and down the court.
But he's not going to get any better sitting on the bench.
Anyways,
maybe they think he is.
That's why they keep sending him back to Austin.
So, okay, last question, and then I promise, Andrew, we are going. He is yelling at me. Are the Spurs making the playoffs this year?
I've always said yes. And
I've said yes also.
You have said yes since day one.
Remember, I know we got to go because is it lunchtime? Okay, good.
It is.
They have 12 home games left still.
I'm looking at it, but they're not easy games.
Yeah, but home is a lot better than on the road. That's a whole nother subject. That's a whole nother argument we could have. I hate this. Well, they're on the road. It's tougher to play on the road. Is the basket not 10 feet off the ground in the road? I mean, I feel like Hoosiers. Go out there and measure the basket, measure the length of the court. How far is the free throw line
home field advantage
from the end
does
line?
play.
It's like the field's the same.
But I think it does play a factor, but you still can't lose to the Knicks.
It's not.
Regardless, you shouldn't lose to the Knicks.
The court's the same size. The ball's the same size.
I love that you brought up Hoosiers.
Every time.
I would have never thought of that.
It's all the same size. What's the difference? The home team, like they shortened up the court, shortened up their basket. We only play on a 9 foot.
Andrew's officially there. It is.
He's
Andrew's officially throwing the paper. That's it.
Sorry, Andrew.
Thank you so much, David Sears, for joining us. Until next time. Anything you want to plug before you go?
What is my Twitter? At David KSAT. And then don't forget on every Friday. It's lunch with Katie and Dave. I have to always say her name first.
Sure.
I figured that one out.
No, everyone knows
Katie and Dave.
Everyone knows Katie.
On Facebook. On the KSAT Facebook page, on my Facebook page, on her Facebook. And you love it. Andrew loves lunch with Katie and Dave because we go out and eat. We go eat food.
There you go.
I think this where are we going to be this Friday, Andrew? I don't know. Maybe back to just beanie weenies until Fiesta.
Wow, okay.
Go Spurs, go.
All right, so that was always fun. David
that was
Sears
fun. I
us.
could always count on David Sears to bring up an old Hoosiers reference. So that's good.
No, so you actually mentioned something in there.
Yeah.
You said that the Warriors, unless they deal with more injuries, that they're not going to lose.
Yeah.
I said it in the first podcast. If you're just joining us, thank you so much for lasting this long.
Yeah.
But I said in the first podcast, I don't think the Warriors will win the championship this year.
I don't know how you're sticking by that.
I'm sticking
by it. What other
it.
team in the Western Conference has given you any sort of hope that
you know what? I'm not saying they're losing the West.
Conference. Okay. In the finals.
Okay. Before we continue with this block, this is what everyone said with the Heat. Remember the Heat? Not one, not two. First off, they didn't win the first year. Shout out to Dirk. They went 2-3, which was great. They beat arguably one of the best teams ever assembled when we look back in the Thunder.
Yeah.
I mean, when we look back at that team, they have 3 MVPs.
Young, great team, yeah.
And Serge Ibaka, it was great. But then they beat the Spurs. And then when the Spurs came back and beat them, everyone was like, what were you going to say?
They should not have beaten the Spurs, though,
Get out of here. That's fine. They won, okay? RJ, they won.
Sure, but
RJ, they won the game.
Should not have been. That was luck more than anything.
History.
And bad decision not to have Tim Duncan in.
History is written by the winners.
Sure.
Okay? You're going to have people all over World War II saying United States shouldn't have won. But you know what? At the end of the day, okay, we won. I'm we with America, not the Heat. Yeah, USA. So here's my thing. The next year, everyone thought Spurs just won. They went to the championship 2 years in a row. This is the Spurs league.
Right.
And then what happened?
Oh, I mean, the Spurs ended up losing.
No.
Wait, what are you talking about?
The Warriors started.
The Warriors.
That was when the Warriors dynasty really flourished.
Sure.
That's when you saw a series of events that led to us learning that Steph Curry is fantastic.
Yeah.
Learning that team is so complete. And they've only gotten better from there, given the Kevin Durant signing, given all of the on-court and off-court drama.
Yeah.
But you always see someone at the top of the mountain until they fall.
Yeah.
I think this is the year that the Warriors fall.
NBA. It's cyclical. It's the
Exactly.
NBA. We saw it with the Bulls, the Lakers, the Celtics, the Pistons. Like you said, the Spurs, the Heat. My thing is that I just don't know on paper right now. So we're talking about who's going to be in the finals, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of what we're leading to here. So I don't see anyone in the West beating the Warriors. Now, the Eastern Conference, very interesting. I think that if Toronto can get in there, I think Toronto would be a pretty good matchup for Golden State. And Toronto right now has a better record, so they would get the home court advantage, which I think is going to be a big thing for whoever the Eastern Conference team is. This
is really coming up.
I
can't get over the whole David Sears thing when he was like, what is home court? I thought he was going to go the other way. I was ready. I was like, you don't understand, David.
No. If you're playing someone like the Warriors, you need to have home court, especially in the finals. So, but is someone going to, like Giannis or Kawhi's been there, obviously, but
Kawhi takes on Kevin Durant.
Like the Raptors, are they going to be able to deal with that sort of pressure?
What happened the last time Kawhi battled against Kevin Durant in the playoffs?
Oh, man.
They were leading the Warriors by
27 points. Unbelievable. I hate to even bring that up. The Zaza game. Yeah, but but no. So are the Warriors going to win the championship? You're right. They do stand a chance to lose this thing. It's going to take a home court team like the Bucks or the Raptors to get that done. Okay. I don't know about your Sixers, man.
So championship tomorrow. Who's in it? Championship
tomorrow, I will go with Toronto and Golden State.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're giving a lot of credit to. Yeah. I'm going to say it. I don't think the Raptors are that good.
Okay.
I really don't.
Okay, so who do you have? Milwaukee is the team that you have.
I'd say Milwaukee's better right now.
Okay, I mean, Milwaukee's a good team. Either one of those teams.
But there's a strategy to beat Milwaukee too.
Sure.
If you're in Milwaukee, you know what? Let Giannis beat us. Let him score 70 points.
Yeah.
We'll guard everyone. Or you do the opposite and you say we'll let Chris Middleton drop 40, but Giannis is not getting to the rim. I mean, you have to take one of the two out. You take the shooters out or you take Giannis out. You're not going to do both. And you're just going to hurt yourself trying to do it.
Yeah, I think the Eastern Conference playoffs are going to be pretty interesting this year.
I think the Eastern Conference
top
playoffs,
4 or 5 teams are really good.
The Eastern Conference playoffs is more difficult than the Western Conference playoffs, because I think it's so hot at the top in the West, and then you see that bottom effect. Now, before Andrew starts yelling at us again, also I respect the paper throw for the record, but LeBron.
Okay, LeBron.
Yeah, we'll go to LeBron and we'll talk Kyrie. So LeBron, is he going to make the playoffs? Right now, they're under 500.
Are the Lakers going to make the playoffs?
29 and 30.
Wow, that's a good question. How many games
29 and 30.
So they are 3 games back of the Clippers right now. I'm going to say that they still somehow find a way to get into the playoffs.
Do they knock the Spurs out then?
Like I'm hoping they're not knocking out. I'm hoping they don't knock out the Spurs, obviously, but maybe the Clippers. I mean, because the Spurs are hanging on by a thread also. I don't know. I think that LeBron will probably carry them to the playoffs. I don't know. We'll see. That's a great question. Because the Kings are still 2 games ahead of the Lakers.
I know.
I mean, let's not forget about the Kings. So.
Kings are good, and the Kings we have the tiebreaker against the Spurs.
Right. So
you could make the argument the Kings are better than the Spurs.
The Lakers have a lot of problems. They left.
You're going to leave that controversy allowed? You're just not going to talk about that one?
No, Luke Walton was left behind. The team bus left without him the other day.
Did they really?
Yes. After the loss in New Orleans, the team bus left.
I would have too.
They had to turn back for the head coach. So
I mean, you lose to the Pelicans without Anthony Davis.
That's pretty bad.
leave the coach. That's the way it works.
Yeah. So we'll see.
All right. I just can't imagine a world where LeBron's not even in the playoffs. All right. Last thing before Andrew is waving that sign at me, it says wrap. I think you need to show people what the sign says. I think you do.
In front of
this is the production level that we have. There we go. That's the production level we're working with.
Got a 3-minute.
We're ballers on a budget here. So Kyrie went off on the media, much like Kevin Durant did.
Yeah.
But you know what? If Kyrie is in front of me, here you go, Kyrie. We need to cover this stuff because, yes, it's just basketball, but at the end of the day, your movement dictates entire franchises. Those franchises dictate economies of local environments and full cities. Yeah. If you go to New York, that is a huge market, the biggest market in the country. That means that you're taking money and you're taking personnel and you're taking ticket sales, you're taking jersey sales, you're taking all of the apparel away from the Celtics, you're bringing it to New York. We need to cover you because that is a huge element of the Knicks. And if we don't cover you, everyone else is. It is one of those things where it's competition. We're going to cover you because you are who you are. You signed that multi-million-dollar contract. You signed the shoe deal. You're in the face of the spotlight. So yes, if you're having a conversation with Kevin Durant on the sideline, if you guys are messing around, there's going to be speculation. We're going to say you guys are friends. You're going to say you're friends. We're going to say you're going somewhere, and you can comment on that. No one asked you to go out in the beginning of the season and say, Boston, I'll have me back if you'll have me, or something like that. No one asked you to do that.
Yeah. And Kyrie has not made it easy on himself. He's the one who keeps on talking. Why is Kyrie Irving? He blames his teammates for the Boston struggles, says it's been such a difficult season for them so far. With Kyrie Irving, going back to the Kevin Durant thing, KD, look, man, this is what people want to listen to. I'm sorry, you're at this spot. It's not about just playing basketball.
No.
It's everything else that comes along with it. Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, if you guys don't want us talking about everything, then you don't have to say anything to the media, but just understand this is what people want to know. Like you said, this is what the fans want to know about y'all's movement coming up in the future.
NBA and sports is the best reality TV.
That's unbelievable. Yeah.
It is what it is. You signed up for it. You know what? I will say, welcome back to football. Football is back on Sundays.
Yeah.
Kind of. That was really enthusiastic. Commanders played last night. They didn't win. I think they lost 31-11 in San Diego against the Fleet.
In front of like 8,000 people, by the way. That was the
So here's the thing. Big loss. I'm just going to, my observations. Quarterback play is still terrible. Logan Woodside needs to go. But at the same time, the way I broke it down was there's about 96 quarterbacks in the NFL. Because you got to think each team has about, what, 3 quarterbacks at least.
Yeah.
So none of these guys could make a team. Which, like, it is, I was going to say it's not an indictment on them. It is. They're just not that good.
Right.
So they're being put in the same position with talented guys. I mean, Mikhail McKay is a great wide receiver. He was pretty much one of the only flashes of offense last night. I think he had like 91 yards, 4 catches. Met the guy, great guy, very talented, hard worker. But here's the thing. These guys are not in the top 100 quarterbacks in America. That's why they're not playing well. That's why you're seeing the running plays or the interception plays or the great defensive plays. That all being said, someone had a controversial take today that was like, maybe Mike Riley's not the guy.
Oh, man.
See, I have history.
Oh
I have history with Mike Riley.
Wow.
And so I just looked at him and said, you shut your mouth.
Well, look, I mean,
I'm biased,
hey,
but we don't know.
Mike Riley, has been fired from every job he has ever had, including that last one.
No, I think he left Colorado State to go to Nebraska.
Oh, but he wasn't head coach. You mean Oregon State?
Yeah, Oregon State.
Oregon State.
Yeah.
He wasn't the head coach there. He was like
a
consultant.
Yeah,
no, you're right. You're right.
He
was
left.
the head coach.
Yeah, he left to go to Nebraska.
You're right. Yes, but for the most part, Mike Riley, not a great track record.
But it's only 3 games in a new league.
So we're already calling for Mike Riley to be
Someone
fired?
did. I'm not going to name names, but the idea when it was thrown out there.
Let's just hope that this league makes it past this first season.
That is why
calling for people.
All right. So for some people, Sundays are for football. For others, it's for watching other people grade movies. Insert RJ.
No, yeah, absolutely.
You were big on the Oscars.
Yeah, I watched the Oscars.
All right,
I didn't know if Lady Gaga won.
Give me 20 seconds to talk about the Oscars. I didn't see any of the Oscar movies except for Black Panther. I didn't care about any of the awards.
Yes.
When I woke up this morning, because the first thing I do when I wake up at like 12:30, 1 a.m. is I turn on the news, and you know what the first 2 blocks of ABC was this morning?
Oscars,
baby. Oscars. So I learned so much about entertainment this morning. There was a guy who wore a tuxedo gown.
Spike Lee was wearing some.
Well, I knew about the Spike Lee situation. Well, Spike Lee is awesome. Spike Lee had a cool situation. Yeah. Oh, not cool if you're a Spurs fan.
So we talked about this. Yeah, Samuel L. Jackson basically called out the Spurs and Spike Lee, and then Spike Lee.
It wasn't even calling out the Spurs. No, it was congrats. Your team finally got a win at home. I think they broke an 18-game home losing streak.
It was just funny to hear it after the fact that the Spurs had just lost. But okay, the movies themselves, I saw like 5 of them. Vice, Bohemian Rhapsody, A Star is Born. I have not even seen Green Book, the one that won. I'm assuming it's a pretty good movie because Mahershala Ali. He's in True Detective. I'm a fan of that show. So yeah, I don't know.
Andrew's stressing me out so much, I broke my pen. Actually, shout out to Adrian, our producer. This is his pen.
Adrian. Okay.
Actually, I accidentally broke it. Okay, so he's yelling at us because we
Bradley Cooper robbed.
I just want to end the podcast there, but I'm not going to. All right, so let's go back to the Commanders. Some people watch football, other people watch the Oscars. Judgment-free zone.
Yeah.
But you did some research. You did a story on the financial implications of last week with the AAF.
Yeah, so the AAF had some trouble. Obviously, there was a glitch in payroll, so they say. So they had to get an investor. Tom Dundon, he is a Dallas-based millionaire, billionaire, already owns the Carolina Hurricanes. So a lot of people last week were skeptical whether this was a buyout or it was just a financial sort of investment by this guy. I'm thinking if this guy's investing $250 million, then hopefully it's more of an investment than a bailout, because then that would be pretty bad for the league. But if you've seen attendance so far, it has not been great. The Commanders
in select cities, it's good. Like we had almost 30,000 last time.
Yeah. San Antonio, Orlando have had some pretty good numbers. I want to see this league make it through, and then we'll see what happens here at the end.
I have a face of confusion because I don't know how we ran through the whole show already. Andrew's already holding up the wrap.
I think Andrew's just giving us these.
I feel like Andrew's like, I have real work to do. Leave me alone. Yeah. So here it is. Our last breakfast bet. Viewers, if you're still listening or you're still watching, I really appreciate you because this is my favorite part of every podcast, our breakfast bet. Because last breakfast bet, we knew that we weren't going to have a podcast at the end of last week because you were a little busy. So what we did was we bet 2 breakfast tacos, to be specific, Machacado on corn, and you lost. Our bet was on the Raptors versus the Spurs. You were very confident that the Spurs were going to beat the Raptors.
They should have beat them.
Did they beat them?
They had a meltdown at the end of the game. They did not beat them, but they should have beat them.
Okay.
I mean, okay, well,
you win or you lose.
I had some laptop issues, which is how I don't have my laptop. I did not get a chance to go buy those tacos, but sure, put them on my tab.
Put them on the tab. All right, so this breakfast bet, let's stick with the Spurs. Listen, they need every win they can get. They're playing in Brooklyn tonight. According to ESPN's Basketball Power Index, they have a Spurs have a 47% chance of winning.
To win. Yeah. Well,
I'll give you a 3-point line.
You'll give me 3?
Okay.
Okay. Then Derek White, just saw the report, expected to play tonight.
Breaking news on the pod.
Going with the Spurs. You know what? Doubling down, tripling down.
No. We're not doubling down. If you win, you still owe me a breakfast taco. Yeah. But that's it. All right. Okay. So before we go, Andrew wants us to plug everything. So shameless plugs. Here we go. Max Massey TV, Max Massey on Facebook. Actually, Max Massey TV on Facebook or KSAT Max Massey, and then Instagram. Hold up. Let me get it out here.
Well, he's doing that at KSAT RJ on Twitter, and I think we're about to pull up our new Instagram.
Well, you plug your Instagram too, because I
don't have an Instagram.
You don't.
It's a thing. It's a thing. Andrew has been on me.
You know, Instagram's like the #1 social media.
It's too much fun.
All right, here we go. Run it back. Anyway. Let's run it back. KSAT, the official Instagram for KSAT News. Run It Back podcast with Max Massey and RJ.
How many followers we got?
We got 12.
5. Oh, no, 12.
No, we got 12 followers. Got 12 followers. So you know what? We're going to go through this next time. We're going to give a shout out to every one of the followers who are not us.
Yes.
And give us your sports take. Feel free to DM us some stuff, appropriate stuff. And we're going to start posting pictures. Right now, it is just my favorite picture I've ever taken. It's me and RJ.
Yeah, our fantasy football stuff, which I can't wait till fantasy football comes.
You ditched me this year in fantasy football.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
All right, that's all we have today. Andrew is yelling at us, kicking us out of the studio. Thank you so much. Run it back with Max and RJ.
Bye, guys.